One of the purpose of Coral Nursery is to serve as the model location. A model location provides many valuable input for us to research and to understand the life cycle of corals. A model location also helps build tangibility in coral restoration when we can observe coral growth and the cycle, the challenges, and all the parameters that is within the rehabilitation process. We started the coral nursery at Tonsai Bay near the Tonsai Pier in Phi Phi Island in Thailand on August 31st, 2016. The purpose of this nursery is exactly what I'm mentioning here, as a model location where people can see tangibility of the organic system in coral propagation. In return for this aesthetic value that we are building, we also gain knowledge from researching this site. That means once the model location is established, we will continue to research indefinitely for many years to see the life cycle of corals. We returned to the site of the coral nursery at Tonsai Bay in the following year on November 7, 2017. And at that point, we are there to evaluate the feasibility and the survivability of the coral we introduced at this nursery. At this point, the coral nubbin seems to calcify onto the substrate and beginning to spread along the side of the nurseries as well. I returned again to this location at Tonsai Bay approximately 1 year after my last visit. In between that time, there are coral gardeners that come to help maintain and observe the nursery. And at this point, the coral has grown to between 10 to almost 20 centimeters, some of the colonies, all throughout the entire nursery. And at this point, no new corals is introduced. There will be some during my stay that I will introduce, but we will leave it as it is. And on March 23rd, 2024, I returned to this nursery to inspect, and by now all the colonies has grown to almost 1 meter tall, and the density is so dense that we are not able to see the substrate anymore. At this period, the rising sea surface temperature during the period of 2024 that causes bleaching later on after this visit has caused this coral to bleach and die out. This is a valuable observation for us because as we are also studying the cycle of living and dying of corals, then we knew by the time it arrives at this health rate and density, they are beginning to have signs of disease. We can see some white patches. But then with the unlikely event of the spike in sea temperature during the June-July period of 2024 has triggered mass bleaching. And these corals succumb to the bleaching and is now dead, and they are soon will crumble and turn into a rubble bed, which is a substructure for the next generation to grow. So for us, a model location means that we also see the tangibility of growing pioneer species of coral like Acropora, like the one in this video. But we also want to see when the transition takes place from the pioneer species to the transitory species. That means we have to observe when this coral succumb to a catastrophe, and we want to know how the substructure that it created will bring the transitory species in.